Welcome back, soccer fans. It is a beautiful night for USL2 soccer here in Minneapolis at Edor Nelson Field on the campus of Augsburg University. I am John Bisworm. I am joined by the Dan Hudeman. Our match tonight pits a 0-0-2. That's still undefeated, folks. Minneapolis City against an 0-3 Chicago City Dutch Lions. We're going to go with Dutch Lions because it's a mouthful to say. Making their first trip north in the new look Heartland Division. Dan, we need to get more people out here.
We do. It's a beautiful night. However, the traffic isn't great on 994.
That could be it, Dan.
This might be one of those LA-style games.
You know, everyone shows up after the national anthem. But as far as the match goes today, last time out for Minneapolis City ended in dramatic fashion with a late stoppage goal on the road versus Riverlight FC that came off the foot of Jackson Kirsch that sees the Crows enter this match without dropping in the loss column bucket. It is early days, though, in the 2025 season, but being undefeated through 3 games still feels good, even though it's 2 ties. For the visiting Dutch Lions, Dan, the start of their season has not been going the way they would have likely hoped, I have to assume. They have dropped all available 9 points, kicking off the 2025 campaign with a 5-3 loss to Riverlight FC, a 7-0 loss to RKC, and most recently a 3-0 loss to Rochester FC last Sunday. But as we know, Dan, in the USL, records don't always tell the full story, as there is quality in every team across the league.
And especially this early in the season, what team were they able to roll out?
But with that said, I'll talk about the other side of the coin here, Dan. An attacking group that's firing on all cylinders for Minneapolis City might indicate some goals tonight.
I hope so. I hope so. And speaking of goals tonight, and sponsored by tonight's youth clubs of the game, Fusion Soccer Club and Tonka Fusion Elite Soccer Club, which Minneapolis City is proud to support as we support community soccer all across the Twin Cities. We want to talk about the player to watch. And like I said, speaking of goals, tonight's player to watch, Jackson Kirsch.
Well, Jackson Kirsch, we'll start out with his elite youth resume. He helped his side at Marion High School in Iowa to back-to-back state championship appearances, earning Iowa's 2023 Gatorade Player of the Year, along with multiple Players of the Year honors from things like the Des Moines Register. I know it's a highly regarded honor. Eastern Iowa publications, as well as the WAMAC All-Conference Player. Had a hot start to 2025. Kirsch burst onto the scene with Minneapolis City in his first season with us, with 3 goals in his first 2 matches for Minneapolis City, playing a pivotal role in the early season attack. And then from a perspective of his college game, Dan, he was named the All-Missouri Valley Conference second team member in 2024, and he was Missouri Valley Conference All-Freshman team in 2023, and he's logged already 33 appearances and 29 starts going into his junior year. So he's played a lot of soccer with 5 goals and 4 assists in his first 2 collegiate seasons.
I mean, what a great start. Hopefully it continues today. Let's talk about what we're going to be looking at today, specifically the keys to victory. And those, as always, John, are sponsored by Twin Cities Orthopedics.
Well, first off, start fast, stay sharp. With 2 early draws setting the tone is in my opinion, Dan, extremely crucial for the Crows tonight. An early goal could kind of rattle a winless opponent and give Minneapolis City kind of that early control to build on for the game. Number 2, stay disciplined defensively. This is, again, the other side of the coin. When you're facing a winless team, it can be tricky at times, right? They might be eager to turn things around, staying disciplined in their defensive shape, maybe trying some new things, and there might be a little bit of a sense of urgency there. And then number 3, ride the hot hands. Jackson Kirsch and Preston Kipnusu, the Drake boys, they play together in college, but they've combined for 4 goals and 3 assists for Minneapolis City, and they're starting to build that chemistry, which is really great to see. So we're going to take a quick break here before we get to the starting lineups, and we have to say the one message that I usually make mistakes on, Dan, and that is this is a copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League and cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without express written consent of the United Soccer League. So once again, I am John Bisworm. That is the Dan Hudeman. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back to you with starting lineups, so stay with us.
for your Minneapolis City SC, and let's play soccer.
Welcome back, soccer fans. Once again, I'm John Bisworm. That is the Dan Huneman. USL2 soccer action here on the campus of Augsburg University, Edor Nelson Field. The matchup tonight is I almost said Dayton Dutch Lions. That was one of their names. The Chicago Dutch Lions versus your Minneapolis City Crows. We're going to jump into our starting lineups sponsored by Shell's Brewing Company. Dan, why don't you give us the away team?
And we'll start with the goalkeeper, Tobias Sturl. They're rolling a 4-3-3 tonight. The back four, starting with the right back, Connor Dora. The two center backs, William Spitznagel. Great name. Love that. Charles Newton, center back next to him. And the left back, Sotirios Kostakis. The midfield three, Nana Frimpong in the middle. He's flanked by Leonardo Santos on the left. And Dominic Scandariato on the right. And up top, we've got Felix Kogler, flanked by Jake Lang and Emir Heto.
Really good inflection there, Dan. And for your home, Minneapolis City, starting in net, number 1, Daniel Sessler. Across the back line, number 24, Nick Kent. 22, Jared Hecht. And number 3, Cold Schragi. In the midfield, 5, you have Joey Tawa, number 12. Number 8, Ian Shaw. Number 10, Jackson Kirsch, our player to watch tonight. Number 14, Morgan Olson. Number 7, Andrew Heckenleibel on the wings. And up top, you have Preston Kipnusu. And making his Minneapolis City debut for a second season is number 18, Joe Highfield. So, Dan, if we're talking about debuts, this is the first opportunity that Joe Highfield is going to have with playing with Preston Kipnusu, and both of them go by at least 6'3". So what does that give a back line?
Man, I'm excited to see these two. Like you said, very tall men.
Yeah.
But also very technical, very quick. They find great pockets of space. Kipnusu likes to stay high. Highfield often likes to drop deep. This could be the perfect pairing. Oftentimes it's the small man, big man. Coach Oliver and Flintham say, let's just go all big.
Yeah, thunder and thunder. Well, as the teams are having their final chats here, just a quick check. 70 degrees here in Minneapolis tonight. We finally dug out of the winter blues, Dan.
We did. We've got a little bit of that Canadian fire haze, but otherwise you can't ask for a better night. Light breeze, nice warm summer Minnesota day.
The stands are starting to fill up a little bit, but if you're interested in coming out to Minneapolis City game, if you're watching us at home and you're not in Chicago, head on over to MPLSCitySC.com. Single game tickets are on sale there. You can also still get season tickets, which I think is a way better deal than paying per game, but
100%.
You do you. Come on out.
Math.
Very accessible soccer, super kid friendly. We're super excited to have Tonka Fusion Elite and Fusion Soccer Club as our youth clubs for tonight. They are the ball chasers. So thank you so much to those two wonderful clubs, and we're super excited to get this one going, Dan.
And it's fun to see, the Fusion and TFE kids out. Nick Kent, number 24. He's a Fusion grad, and then Curtis Wagner, just back from Loyola, Maryland. He's on the bench tonight. He's a coach, actually, at Fusion, John. So some nice Fusion connections here in the city team today.
So the game's underway here. A little bit of a confusion on who that went out off of, but it looks as if it did go out off of a Dutchman.
I think we're going to have fun with that tonight.
Looks as if the Dutch Lions definitely content on a little bit of a lower block of pressure, something different that the Crows have seen. River Light FC and RKC, both extremely high lines of pressure.
Yeah, intense pressure early. But, different teams. If you're the Dutch Lions, like you said, starting early is going to be the key. An early goal, that could be demoralizing. Smart to stay in a mid or even lower block and just give yourself some time to feel the game out. This is their first time at Edor Nelson Field. You gotta figure out what this more narrow field plays like, and just what it's like to play against these Crows.
Shaw going over top to Heckenleibel.
Heckenleibel working on Dora. Inside, outside. Dora pushes him. That's off of Heckenleibel in the end.
You maybe want an earlier cross there. We talked about the height in Kipnusu and Highfield. I think that, trying to test a back line early by clipping it, even like a lofted softball in. Like, let those two big guys go hunt it.
Still taking his time over this goal kick already. Again, something different than what we saw from the first two opponents. Pressing high, moving fast, looking to push the ball forward. Tawa had more time than he thought, but he gets it back from Dora. Heck goes long.
Consider that a shot.
And saved by Sturl with his feet. When I was a goalkeeper, John, I counted all those in my head and argued with the stats guy afterwards.
I mean, I believe it's a shot still.
And Schrage back to Sessler. You know, the first time two sides play each other, oftentimes they are sort of feeling each other out. John, if you're City, what's your approach to this game early?
Keep the ball. There's only 4 subs on that bench. You keep the ball. You try to
Tawa, he's just shut down by Kogler. Unfortunate bounce for the Dutch.
Good flick on.
Heckenlabel, he's in but tracked down by Newton. It falls to Kipnusu. Kipnusu, look at that, trying to get around Spitznagel.
To go back to it, like we're like almost cursing the commentator there for Tawa. Sorry, Joey, but I think if you're Minneapolis City, you want to keep the ball. You want to move the pieces from the Dutch Lions around, see what they do, and then you start to assert yourself, whether it's getting direct, whether it's playing to feet, but trying to break those lines. I think one thing that we didn't see against Riverlight FC was Minneapolis City trying to break the lines from the back line, maybe to feet to a forward. It was a lot of backwards and side to side.
Tawa's delivery. Kipnusu, and that's an early goal! He has just been on fire these first few games.
Got 3 feet of air that time.
That is his second goal from Joey Tawa from a corner in the first 3 games.
So in the 4th minute, Minneapolis City getting on the score sheet. Corner kick in from Joey Tawa. Finds the head of Preston Kipnusu. And that is not the start you want if you're wearing orange today.
Ian Shaw in conversation on his way back with Felix Kogler. I'd love to know what they were saying to each other, but I wouldn't broadcast it. Let's maybe say that much.
I mean, the marking there was interesting for the Dutch Lions. I mean, if Kipnusu didn't get that, Nick Kent was all by himself on the back post. A great start for Coach Oliver and the Crows.
So Preston Kipnusu, he's played 3 games for Minneapolis City. He's scored 2 goals, won 2 penalties, and won a free kick that resulted in the 94th minute equalizer against Riverlight. Not a bad start, I'd have to say.
Not a bad start.
Look, if I had to, I'd vote for Preston Kipnusu. You make all my wildest dreams come true. Tawa tracking down Santos. Santos, a little bit aimless, but Kent is going to have to figure out what to do with it with Hedo on his back.
Smart play by Kent there.
And this is where, if you're City, you've got to be careful not to get a little bit overconfident. You scored an early goal. You've seen the results.
Mm-hmm. Drop something, Dan. Kirsch battling through. It's a great job in the midfield to find Heckenlabel, who's been active early on in this game.
Taking on Santos. Nice cover there.
Oh, unlucky. Hit his plant foot.
You know, Doran Scandariato, they've done a really nice job tracking back with Heckenlabel. The St. Louis University man has been a danger man for City early, though he hasn't gotten on the score sheet. A lot of good has come from him his first 3 games in a Crow shirt.
Good touch by Schrage.
John, I think you're right. It was the traffic, as the
Stands all
citizens now, they're loud. The stands are filling up.
Early goal helps. Good step by Shaw. But immediately lost possession to Frimpong.
Heck steps forward. And Shaw's got it back. And then Morgan Olson. This is his second game since he's returned from University of Portland, where he's a teammate of Joe Highfield's. He was excellent last season in that wingback role, John.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime you take a center midfielder who has the already built-in engine, you can kind of plug and play them at different spots, and he's kind of tailor-made for that wingback position.
City taking their time with the ball. Kirsch taken down by Frimpong. Frimpong arguing that it went off of Kirsch's foot.
Yeah.
Which it did, but referee being a little bit lenient there.
Kirsch asked for 10 first, so.
Well, I'm looking for Heckenlabel.
Good idea by Tawa there. Just so happened that it didn't find, got a little crossed up with Heckenlabel. Kirsch pressuring.
Scandariato, he drives in the middle. Frimpong. City pressing hard.
And I think the important thing to add to that, Dan, is that they're pressing hard in packs. It's not a single man pressing.
But it has been fun to see what coaches Oliver and Flintham have been able to do with a full preseason, with the team selection. Hecht asking for offside, but he had Nick Kent behind him. But Coker can't do anything with the ball.
Nice ball by Sessler. Oh, Kent
gives that away.
dispossessed.
That's unfortunate. Heto's in. He shoots right at Sessler.
Whew, that's a heart in the throat moment there for Nick Kent. We know the veteran defender will definitely understand his mistake there, but those are the types of things that you can't have, especially with an early goal against a team that's given up a lot of goals. Don't give them that ounce of hope.
No, you're absolutely right. And unusually loose from, like you said, the veteran defender. Nice ball forward looking for Kipnusu. Newton is there. Gets past Highfield. Nice work to find Frimpong.
Good touch.
Kohler, but Trege's there. City seem to be doing just what you suggested. Nice ball
Highfield's
forward
in.
from Morgan to Highfield. Good save there from Sturl. That's that University of Portland connection. Heckenlabel controls. He cuts in. Taken down by Frimpong. Frimpong looks confused, but the referee was not. And this is going to be a free kick. This is within range, John.
It is.
Kirsch is going to be stepping over this. Right-footed, but you've also got Highfield with the left foot right next to him.
I mean, I see why Frimpong was a little bit perplexed at the call there. He was going for the ball, but any time that you're going kind of undercutting that forward, even if you do win the ball first, different than when you and I played. You got the ball first, you can get all the man after.
Kind of do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want to go back to 1991, but it had some positives. Highfield shot.
Ooh.
Great save from Sturl.
Woo.
At full stretch.
Joe Highfield.
What a nice save.
Walks into the team, first game of the season, tells Kirsch, I got this one. Puts it on target.
Kirsch standing over the corner. Ball four just over Kipnusu. A lot of height in that box when the Crows came up for that one. If you're City, you've got that height advantage. You've got to be thinking about set pieces as a real focus.
Oh, 100%. I look at the game plans that Coach Oliver sends out, and that's number one, win the set piece battle for that exact reason, Dan. You have almost 13 feet of human that can win headers for you.
Heck with a karate kick. But it falls to Frimpong. Nice drive forward here to Santos. It's wide to Lane. Lane on the ball, working on Schrage. He shoots right at Sessler.
Really good job by Schrage there to cut off the far post angle and really allow, who was that, Jake Lane, the only option for him to shoot was in an area that Sessler had covered.
And that shows great trust in your goalkeeper. Sessler, he's a veteran. You know, you give him that narrow shooting angle, he's going to take that down. Heckenlabel finds Shaw. Shaw, the back heel, can't quite find it back to Heckenlabel. This is where City have to be careful as Frimpong's on the ball. Schrage, nice step. Kirsch to Olsen. City being patient in the build-up.
Right there is what you talked about in the open, Dan. You saw Highfield kind of coming to Schrage there. Didn't do like a demanding job to call for the ball, but he made the run, showed the intent that Schrage can look for that next time.
Kirsch pointing forward. As Frimpong wins it off him, but Nick Kent's able to get that wide to Schrage. In a few ways, you think, though patience is good, City may need to work a little bit faster to break down this lower Dutch Lions block.
Yeah, I think the ball's got to move a little quicker now. The Dutch Lions are giving them the space, so move the ball faster.
Dutch Lions probably 25 yards deeper in terms of when they're really starting to put pressure on the ball than they were at the beginning of this game. Nice ball from Olsen, or nice ball from Shaw to find Olsen. Olsen keeps it in. And another back heel, but Shaw's offside.
I don't know about that.
Look, I love a good double back heel, and it feels like a shame to flag it for offside. But I think that's where City just need to be a little bit quicker, a little bit more decisive.
It's almost like they're afforded the space and they don't know what to do with it because they haven't had it in 2 games. Good win by Shaw, the smallest guy in the field.
Falls to Frimpong. Schrage steps in as Jake Lane was looking to get behind him. High ball again. Hecht with a minute. And this is where that second ball is something that, you know, City need to do a better job of getting to. Schrage, nice cleanup again. Kip Nusu can't quite get free. Sturl doing a nice job of staying high. It's a little bit of Manuel Neuer type goalkeeping. Long ball. No one's there but Daniel Sessler. And it's a quick restart to Ian
Here's
Shaw.
where it's got to get quick.
You know, and Shaw with that range of passing. Now he's going to Kip Nusu. Kip Nusu working on Newton. Sturl is there but can't use his hands. Heads away. Kip Nusu, why not try with the overhead kick, but it only goes as far as, well, look at that. Joe Highfield out of nowhere.
It's a foul.
That was definitely a foul. I would have called that one. Dutch Lions break and Frimpong's on the ball. He's looking for Lane. Schrage's able to get just a touch on a surprising pace. Dora slows it down.
15 minutes in, Minneapolis City 1, Dutch Lions 0. Goal came in the 4th minute from number 9, Preston Kipnusu, off of a corner kick from number 12, Joey Tawa. And that's your score so far.
Frimpong bodies Shaw. He goes wide to Lane. Lane's got Dora in support. Heckenlabel defending. Good cross from Lane, but you're not going to get past Jared Heck with that. Dutch Lions having a good minute of possession there. Of course, I say it, and then they get it right back.
Good block.
Good block from Hecht. Kogler shoots, blocked again. This has been a good spell from the Dutch Lions, and if you're City, you need to shift your mindset, I think.
Yeah, it goes back to moving the ball faster when we have it. They've won the ball in spots where they can take advantage of it because we've been kind of, I don't want to say lazy with the ball, but just like quiet with it. We need to have more intent, more passion with it.
Laying on the ball. Nice in there from Ian Shaw. You know, I'd love to see a little bit of that. Let's
grit.
get a tackle in from the midfield.
He got all that one.
We're working on Olsen. Good step from Hecht. Falls to Kipnusu. Kipnusu has Newton. Kipnusu has Scandariato. I just enjoy saying that last name. I expected more Dutch last names, but I could go with the Italian ones.
You're going to hope he doesn't get subbed off at any point in this game.
I would be
right?
really sad about that.
Dangerous ball by Tawa there.
Shaw giving a little shove by Kogler. Nice turn from Kipnusu. Little flick on
unlucky.
looking for Olsen, but it's just too heavy. But I love the intent.
Yeah, that was a really good idea. The referee's having a talking to with Felix Kolger, kind of kicking out at Shaw there off the ball a little bit.
Shaw putting his hand up to his ear saying, hey, what was that? There's going to be a little bit of...
little chippy.
Yeah. Don't mind it, because I think that may be what City needs for the difference between patient to somnolent to patient and, hey, when the opportunity is there, let's go get him.
Yep, have that fire, that passion. This ball's been on all day.
Little far for Hackenlabel, but I'd love to see that. Let's go quick. Let's really start to press them.
This is the next idea that the Crows have to think about doing is instead of hitting that one long, find your center midfielders and move that ball on the ground.
Schragen, nice step there in front of Kogler. Door on the ball. He looks long to Lane. Lane's got a step on Hackenlabel. And that shot is pretty wide. Sessler made the dive, but that may have been a little bit of Hollywood dive, which, to be fair, I've done in my career too.
He just wants to show the intent that he had the post covered, Dan.
I get that. I 100% get that. But, you know, we've seen Dutch Lions after that early start from City. You know, 3 shots to City's 1. You know, they've really started to show some intent. They're able to break through as, you know, City patiently build up, get a lot of guy forward. Howell finds Kirsch. Kirsch has 3 men around him, and Dutch Lions break again. Lane leading this charge. Only gets as far as Schrage, but he's under pressure early.
Oh, the flick almost got through. Handball.
That did look like a handball. Nothing called.
Nice little bit of work there.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. I think Newton there in the Dutch line defense, he's been pretty nice today. Handy on the ball, unflustered.
I was hoping that was the Spitz, not Newton.
Little flick on forward from Lane. Kogler's running, but Hecht is there.
Great tracking speed by Hecht.
That was a great burst of acceleration. I'm not sure he had it in him.
Yeah, where did that gear come from?
I think that shows a little bit. I'm not sure City have gotten out of first gear yet, John.
I would agree, Dan.
That's where all too often here we've seen City play to the opposition when maybe a little bit of ruthlessness has been demanded. And Nick Kent turns back. Howell van Schragen, you see 4 Crows just across the back line. We're not getting a ton of movement. It's tough to break the lines.
And it's also dangerous if we lose the ball there.
Kipnusu, great little turn there on Spitznagel. Felt like he maybe got caught up a little bit. Couldn't accelerate, and Sturl was there.
What I was saying, excuse me, is like if we have 4 1v1 scenarios loaded for a long ball, if the back line or the deep lying center midfielders lose it there, then that's a really bad counterattack opportunity for Minneapolis City.
Ball's long. Hecht. He's been unstoppable today. Tawa's touch lets him down, but he wins it back from Frimpong. Nice work from Tawa. I mean, it's a little bit of a cliche that goals change games, but you have to say that this early goal really changed how City's approaching and how the Dutch Lions are approaching. Tawa looks long to Heckenlabel, but that's going to outrun the winger.
Shout out to our new sponsor, Co-Create. You want to be a better leader? Stop reading self-help books on the toilet and start actually doing something. Co-Create offers personalized coaching that'll get you thinking smarter, leading stronger, and feeling less like an imposter. Check out Co-Create today at growwithcocreate.com.
Wow, that was a foul call on Heckenlabel. That was a little bit surprising. I thought it was going the other way if there was anything.
Goes to nobody.
And Newton finally puts a foot wrong as he passes that out of bounds. He's been excellent tonight, though. But nobody's perfect. Tawa forced back. City very far forward. Heck looks for Heckenlabel, overcooks that one. Sort of feels like a ball like that has to be played early.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just have to be a little bit more controlled as you attack.
I think there were some shorter options there for Hecht.
I mean, credit to him for trying to make something happen, but once the Dutch Lions get in that low block, it's going to be harder to break him down really direct. Frimpong, it seems like he's been everywhere for Chicago today. He gets through again. Kirsch is able to step in and win that one.
I think the transition, like we talked about, like on the ball being a little bit slow. I think the transition's been a little slow for Minneapolis City too. There's been a lot of like second and third balls won in the middle, and we haven't put the pedal on the foot on the gas pedal and got going.
I think you're right. We saw it right there. There's a number of touches to get the ball, number of touches to turn forward. Shaw looking over the top for Kipnusu. Kipnusu on Newton. Tries to get past him with pace. Newton doing a nice job battling there. Love to give a shout out to sponsor Bryant Lake Bowl. Boys were there last night. If you haven't been to the Uptown Institution in a while, it's time to go back. Bryant Lake Bowl has plays, concert, improv shows, and of course, banging food, booze, and bowling, all in a kick-ass vintage environment dating back to the 1930s. Check out the menu and show schedule at BryantLakeBowl.com.
Dynamite read, Dan.
I still haven't heard from the players who won in the bowling, so something must have happened if they're not telling me.
Yeah. Or nothing happened because the one person who won would be just telling everyone.
That's true. That's true. Nice ball, direct flick on from Kipnusu. Just outpaces Highfield. He's able to get on it. Finds Heckenlabel. Heckenlabel looking to get past Dora. Can't. Dangerous ball, but look at that from Dutch Lions as they're able to get free. Santos. Nothing there as Heck drives him down. Shaw leaves it, but Kirsch can't get to it. Frimpong, he's past Shaw. Tawa tracking. Frimpong has a minute. Kogler's wide. He's working on Heckenlabel. He gets past Heckenlabel. His cross headed away by Nick Kent.
It was a great ball.
It was a great ball. Kostiakis on the ball again, working on Kirsch. Kirsch is able to control. A little bit of danger from City, and then they slow it down again.
Got to stop slowing it down. Like,
Olsen finds Highfield to Kipnusu.
Kipnusu's in.
He's running wide. Highfield in support. Oh, just past the post.
Wide.
Highfield close, the post close. That's the best City chance we've seen, John, in probably 20 minutes.
We got to stop passing the ball sideways and backwards so we can do more of that.
Tawa with a win.
Like, I understand keeping possession, but you're up a goal. Like, don't be complacent with one goal. Like, get a little bit more dangerous.
Olsen finding Kirsch's run. Kirsch headed away. That falls to Frimpong when Kipnusu was there. Drive from Dora, it's out to Lane. And Lane slows it down. Tawa on the ball. Kirsch asking for it. He gets it as he turns. Want to see a little bit more. Shaw looking for some options too. It has been a little bit static from City.
Yeah,
You see some players asking for the ball, but where are those runners coming off of them?
Oh, good idea by Shaw. Angry at himself. The intent was right there for Shaw.
Kent battling. Heck picks up the ball. And we're back to Tawa. Tawa's got a range of passing. You can drive that ball long. Taking a patient approach. That's nice from Kent to Morgan Olsen. Is it going to outrun him?
Come on, dude. That corner flag's expensive. Oops.
Shaw could have driven that right into Kirsch. He did not. Heckenlabel kind of tricky. Frimpong reads it.
Great tackle.
Great tackle. Leonette's knock it back to Santos.
Good step by Kent.
That was a great read. And Morgan Olsen wins it. A little bit quicker. I love how he looked up for Kirsch, found him quick. Kirsch wants Heckenlabel wide. Good cross in looking for the big man. Of course, it falls to Morgan Olsen, the shortest of those three. He finds Kipnusu. No, Spitznagels there.
This is what I was looking for, Dan.
Much better. Shaw finds Heckenlabel. Kipnusu off his chest. It's a little bit too much. Tawa, no. Lane's able to step inside. Schrage, nice work. He had Heck covering as well. And I think you're right. This is kind of what you're looking for, John. Good attacking from City, but that defense not losing any composure in the right spot.
I think keeping the ball is allowing the Dutch Lions a little bit off the hook. Nice 1-2.
That was a great touch from Highfield to Kipnusu. Kirsch shot. Frimpong He blocks that. Frimpong's been excellent today.
Yeah, he's been everywhere for the Dutch Lions. But like I was saying, like keeping the ball in the possession stat is good because obviously the Dutch Lions can't score if they don't have the ball, but it's allowing them to kind of take a beat and reorganize when we got to just get after them when we have the options.
Highfield tries to turn there on Scandariato. But that's good defending. Good defending from the not quite Dutch Lion. Shaw nice and quick to Kirsch. Kirsch unlucky.
Oops. Forgot something.
You know, Dutch Lions haven't been closing quickly except Frimpong. Frimpong's been
That's
all
the ball,
action.
Joey.
Unlucky for Olsen with the bounce there.
That's the ball, though. Like,
yeah, let's go quick. Find your wingers. Kind bounce, and Olsen's going to cause a lot of trouble. Door finds Lane. Lane should have found Santos.
yeah, Santos forgot something there.
Seen a lot of energy from Lane. We've seen a lot of energy from Frimpong.
Santos.
Scandariato, Dora. Like there are some players in this Dutch Lions team who showed a lot. Nice ball looking for Heckenlabel. But it makes it all the way to Sturl. Sturl taking a whole lot of time. But if you're Dutch Lions, why not? Right? Like, it's a narrow lead that City have. You started to find your way in the game a little bit. No need to rush. Sure looks long.
Gotta go quick
Perhaps
there.
a little too much on there for Santos.
Can't get up real high.
Shaw driving forward. Oh, he looks for Olsen. I like that, though.
It's a second try. The third one is hopefully going to land, but that's
Olsen
what
just
we're
had
looking
to check
for.
his run a little bit for offside, but that movement.
That movement and that, like, Shaw took the ball and had 10 yards of space and ate it up instead of pulling the ball back.
Shaw called for a foul there on Kogler. They've been going back at it all game, which has been kind of an enjoyable thing to watch, especially given the height difference between the two.
Little side story. Everyone likes a good side story.
Oh, they absolutely do. Oh, that was a nice dummy by Lane. At calm as can be with Kogler on his back. Just say the City back three have done a really nice job knowing that they're going to be hit on the counter. If you're, the Coach Oliver Flintham, John, as you're going into halftime, like, how do you think about defending that 1-0 lead without being too defensive? Kim Nusu, nice touch.
I'll tell you in a second.
He gets past Spitznagel. His cross comes in. Highfield with a header off the bar.
Crossbar. Say your question again, Dan.
Well, first let's just say that nice work from Kip Nusu. He just hit that crossover. Gotta love, you had Scandariato, you had Newton there, and you got Highfield heading over him. Tough luck with the bar.
Yeah, tough luck with the bar. What was your question? I was watching the game.
So you come into halftime, you're Coach Oliver, you've got a narrow lead. How do you balance the let's kill this game off with the fact that Dutch Lions they've been counterattacking. You know, there have been some chances.
I don't want kill the game off in the conversation at all. I want the pedal down. I want pressure. I want goals. I want the fruits of the labor. I want to keep the ball, obviously, the right amount. But the Dutch Lions have only been dangerous when
Vogler finds Lane. Lane working on Heckenlabel. Good win from Heckenlabel. Oh, you got to love that. Lane's going to get booked. A little bit hard done by. He tackled when Heckenlabel turned away from him. But here we are in the 38th minute. That's a yellow card for Jake Lane.
Yeah, I don't want the passiveness. Like, it's, yes, we have a lead, but if we have the right amount of aggression with proper marking and moving the ball quickly, we don't have to worry about protecting a lead. We're going to have too big of one.
And this team's certainly capable of it. But like you said, John, this is a different type of game than those first two.
Yeah, absolutely. Lower block, a lot more congestion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no space behind the defenses versus those first two games. Aggressive pressing. Tons of space, but are you going to have a minute to even get on the ball? Kirsch taking off the ball, though he wins it back right in front of Frimpong. Right to Schrage. Lane tracking.
Like right there. Yes, it was a nice conservative ball, but look what happened.
Takes it off of Tawa. Lane driving forward. Schrage tracks back.
But the right ball there was the ball to Highfield, who was checking in.
The early ball.
The early ball. And look what happens if you don't play that early ball.
Heckenlabel with his hand up.
Transition turnover.
Yeah. I feel back to get the ball. He looks forward for Heckenlabel. Heckenlabel's behind Dora. He's wide. Oh, looks to try and drive in the box. Dora, nice job. And Heckenlabel fouls.
It's been a couple of times where Dora's been in the pocket of Heckenlabel when there was a really good chance for him to get something on target.
You know, between Dora and Scandariato, they've done a really nice job of doubling up. Scandariato.
There you go.
They've done a really nice job of doubling up. City with another foul. We've got 5 minutes plus added time here. And this is where City have to be sharp. You know, Coach Oliver has talked a lot about winning the first 5 minutes, winning the last 5 minutes. And when you look at the goals that have been scored on City these first two games, it's those minutes right before halftime that have been really the critical ones for them not to switch off.
Mm-hmm.
Santos over the ball. Shaw steps up, but only as far as Frimpong. Frimpong shoots.
Like here, you know what I would do? Go quick. Go high up their goalkeeper is.
And that is the thing we haven't seen City do yet today is very quick.
Good work by Shaw. Eating up the space.
Shaw looking for Heckenlabel. Can he get there? Oh, it outruns him just a little bit. You know, that Edor Nelson turf, having played on it myself.
It's quick.
It is
really
very quick. And it's one of the narrower pitches here in the Heartland Division. Shaw gives it up to Lane.
Here's where it gets dangerous.
Dutch Lions 3-on-3 with Tawa tracking back. He's got Santos on his back. Let's look back to Santos. Santos has a minute. He finds Lane. Lane shoots, blocked by Schrage. Highfield header, but that's backwards. He's undercut by Frimpong. Can't do that.
Frimpong has one of those situations where every time he touches someone and gets gets a foul called, he feels like he doesn't understand why.
A little bit hard to argue with that one. You know, the referees really do want to make sure that undercut. Yeah, it's such a dangerous thing. Even if there's no intent, I don't think there was.
Especially when you're playing on turf, that is a recipe for disaster.
100%.
Minneapolis City would like to thank Shell's Brewing, home of the iconic Grain Belt Premium. Shell's has a German craft brew perfect for any season, available at bars and liquor stores everywhere. Thank you, Shell's.
Schrage looking for Kirsch, too much on it. And you got to say that when the ball has been played quick, they've tried to find those balls in the channels. It just hasn't been quite there yet.
I think what's been more successful for the Crows has been quick through the middle.
Yeah,
and
I think you're right.
Not the quick balls that are going over the top, because the Dutch Lions are...
They're sitting so deep.
Yes, their intent is definitely to absorb the pressure, and that when they sit back and try to absorb that pressure, that opens things up for player to watch Jackson Kirsch or Ian Shaw.
Nice flick on from Highfield, but it only gets as far as Scandariato. This is just so much fun. I hope he's never subbed out. Santos on the ball. He's forced to go back. Dwyer looking over the top. Kent is there with Heto on the ball. Heto cross. Can't find Kogler. Hecht is there. Back to the Dutch Lions. This is where City can't switch off. Also Shaw, he's tackled. Tawa forced to tackle.
Go quick, go quick.
Edor falls over. That's a good step there. Spitznagel, your favorite last name.
The Spitz. Good touch by
Good
Kirsch.
touch by Kirsch.
No, get the line up. Nice ball in for Kipnusu.
Kipnusu on the turn. He's dragged down. That has to be
a red card. Yep.
And that is a straight red. It had to be. He tore down Kipnusu, who had fully turned him and was one-on-one with a goalkeeper. There's really no question about that. And unfortunately, John, Scandariato gets the red card here in the 44th minute. I mean, that's the thing with Kipnusu. We've seen it the first few games.
So good with his body and his positioning and being able to use that huge frame to spin defenders. Great replay.
Just outside the box, so he doesn't win yet another penalty for Jackson Kirsch
It was
to
pretty, I mean,
deliver. It was close.
He rode him for about 5 more yards into the box.
He sure did.
He's got to buy a ticket next time.
I mean, that's the thing. If you look at Preston Kipnusu, big, strong, fast, but that technical quality,
Yep.
that touch, that turn, the run to find the space. What a player. So we've got the right-footed Kirsch and the left-footed, actually two-footed Highfield stand over the ball.
I think this one goes to Kirsch.
I want to know what Ian Shaw thinks they should do after Shaw told Kirsch to go under the wall against Riverlight.
Oh, is that a touch?
Looked like he got a touch. Yep, referee says it is. That's a corner.
Personally, I would have gone with the right footer to go around the wall instead of trying to go up and over with the left foot. But hey, it led to something.
It did.
Better than leading to a goal kick. So this kind of changes everything, Dan. But I still think that it changes everything for the Dutch Lions. They're probably going to go even deeper and try to maybe hit longer on the counter.
Towel, that's punched away by Sturl, only as far as Olsen. Falls to Heckenlabel.
Oh, if you could just got
off his foot.
anything on that towards goal. I think what it changes for Minneapolis City is you have absolutely got to attack the exposed bone here, and you've got to continue to pressure hard and
Kirsch to Kipnusu down to Hecht. Hecht is in. Oh, he can't quite get to it.
you've got to not let them out of their defensive third, and you've got to just be ruthless.
I think that's the word today.
Ruthless.
Got to be ruthless.
Got to be ruthless, yeah.
Sure will take his time again. He's been taking his time since the 2nd minute.
We are into stoppage. Gonna try to get an indicator here.
That was a nice turn by Lane. Lane looking wide to Heto. Heto's got Hecht in front of him. Heto with a crossover, blocked by Kent, who comes over.
And now it's everyone back.
And I believe, John, this is the first Dutch Lions corner kick. Heto's on the ball.
This is almost exactly what happened.
Hecht is off the field, clutching what looks like his hamstring, which has been a trouble spot for him over the years.
He's okay.
But he's up. Delivered long, and it is all the way to Eden Prairie.
That'd be more to like New Hope.
I just went in Matt Elder's house.
Speaking of Matt Elder, where's he tonight?
That's a great question. I'd love to see the alumni. Here we are at halftime.
That does it, 45 minutes in. A lot of stuff to unpack, but the first thing to note is your Minneapolis City Soccer Club is up 1-0 at the half over the Chicago City Dutch Lions. Once again, I'm John Bisworm. That is the Dan Hudeman. We're going to take a quick break, collect our thoughts. We'll give you some insights from the first half, talk about what we would do, and then we'll get the second half started. Stay with us. Welcome back, soccer fans. Edor Nelson Field on the campus of Augsburg University. Man, that was a mouthful. I am John Bisworm here with the Dan Hudeman. Your halftime score is your Minneapolis City Soccer Club 1, the Chicago City Dutch Lions 0. A lot to kind of unpack in a 1-0 halftime, Dan. The scoreline for the Dutch Lions, there was a 38th minute yellow card, and then ultimately we'll get to more of their situation in a second. But the storyline really is the goal in the 4th minute by Preston Kipnusu.
I mean, it's a cliche that goals change games, but that 100% did. Crows quick out of the blocks, early goal, and then it seemed like perhaps they spent the rest of the half being a little bit too patient until maybe the last few minutes when Kipnusu again wreaked some havoc.
Yeah, I thought it was a very passive second half for Minneapolis City. We talk about moving into the second half. 44th minute, Dominic
Scandariato.
Just giving you one more chance to say it, was sent off in the 44th minute, bringing down Preston Kipnusu. Clear goal-scoring opportunity, brought him down just outside the box, narrowly a penalty. Maybe for Minneapolis City, even though it's a penalty and you might be able to go up 2-0, I think actually getting the man advantage is actually better.
I think you're right. And to be fair, Scandariato did start to pull him down probably 5 or 6 yards outside of the box. It's just that Kipnusu's so strong,
Yeah.
dragged him into the box. And I think you're right. A man advantage means that Dutch Lions are going to have to think about like how they defend, where the low block is, and how they can counter, which
Yep.
is really where things have come for them tonight.
We talked about the need to put the pedal down. I really do feel, Dan, that it is absolutely paramount for Minneapolis City and Coach Oliver to go for the second, the third, maybe the 4th goal.
Well, I think you're right. And if you think about, you've got Joe Howfield and Preston Kipnusu up top, Jackson Kirch behind him, Morgan Olsen, and now we've got Shea Bechtel coming in for Andrew Heckenlabel, flanking him. What a wealth of attacking talent.
So we did have some substitutions. We'll get to those in a second, just to make sure that we have them correct. But here we go, Dan.
And to start that off, it was Shea Bechtel coming in on that kind of left wing back for Andrew Heckenlabel. Jake Swallen comes in for his Minneapolis City debut for Joey Tawa. Swallen is number 2. And then Curtis Wagner. He's back from Loyola, Maryland. He is back for his season debut, Kipnusu. Oh, just wide. Can't get his head to it.
I'm sure you can pick that up.
Wagner, number 20. He's on the left side of defense. He replaces Jared Hecht, and Nick Kent is going to slide into that center of the back 3. When we look at the Dutch Lions, they've made a change too. Number 11, Amir Heto, is off. And number 13, Alvaro Alanis, is on. That's in that. They're playing a 4-3-3. So, well, now they're not because they got a man sent off. But he's going to be one of the attackers here on the left-hand side. Kogler is going to be pushed up top, and they're going to have Alanis, Jake Lane, and Leonardo Santos sit behind him with Frimpong in more of a holding role, it looks like.
I think this is the absolute start that we were asking for, Dan.
A lot more hunger now.
A lot more hunger.
Bechtel taken down.
A lot more intent, moving forward, moving the ball quickly. Good job by Olsen.
Olsen, a whole lot of energy. And he wins the throw in there off of Santos. For a second, it looked like he didn't have anywhere to go, but Morgan Olsen always has somewhere to go, John.
I think he's got somewhere to go in like 45 minutes, and we want to get this one wrapped up.
And he's heading to the corner bar, where you should too, with 25% off of Grain Belt Premium pitchers and pitchers of Notorious Pils, the new Shell's summer drink. I've had it. It's delightful. You also get 25% off of pizza. So if I were you, I would head to the corner bar after the games. It's on Washington in 7 Corners. Bring your ticket, digital or printed, and get a deal.
Kipnusu's
nice
in.
ball into Kipnusu. Kipnusu with the finish.
Oh,
it's
no.
just wide of the post.
Frimpong hanging all over Kipnusu, doing everything but bringing him down. Probably is what pushed that one wide. But, Dan, here we are in the 48th minute of this game. We've already had more action.
I mean, this is what you asked for,
Yeah.
and this is what you need. Let's get some goals. Let's be ruthless. Great ball from Kirsch to play in Kip Nusu. Those two both play their college soccer at Drake. They've been excellent this season. Big ball, Kent wins. Swollen to Shaw.
Dan, what do you think Swollen brings into this second half?
Well, so Jake Swollen, he played his college soccer at Wake Forest. He graduated this last year, had a couple of extra years because of redshirt and then COVID. So a little bit older. He was at Sporting Kansas City too, came back after that. So he's going to bring a whole lot of, like, if you need somebody to think about game state, how to play the ball, not get flustered, it's a veteran like Swollen. Plus, I would expect to see him going forward a whole lot more. He really is a guy who knows how to press play, can play quickly. There he is with Santos in front of him. Santos to Kent. Would have loved to hear a little bit from Sessler there, but it's easy for me to nitpick from up here in the booth.
Minneapolis City is in good hands with our longtime sports medicine partner, Twin Cities Orthopedics. With orthopedic...
Ball high for Kip Nusu. Sturl is there.
With orthopedic... Man, I always get interrupted on the TCO reads. With orthopedic urgent care open 7 days a week and a wide range of specialty services, you can achieve your goal of returning to your best. Learn more at tcomn.com.
And here we go, Swollen. Swollen's going to take that space, driving forward. That's kind of what we're looking for. Both Shaw and Swollen willing to take the space, play that forward ball. Here's Bechtel. Bechtel working on... Ooh, Frimpong was there. Bechtel had just gotten past Dora. And look at that energy from Swollen. All the way over. Shuts down quickly Jake Lane. Of course, Jake Swollen was training with Minneapolis City last season. He was coming back from an injury, so didn't play any competitive games.
Kirsch finds Olsen.
Olsen wide.
Want to see maybe the left foot there early.
But this is a different city, like you talked about. Much more intent, and a good mix of let's go quick, and Kirsch taking a minute, picking his head up too. Chicago trying to find space between that city back line, but the Crows, you have to say, doing a good job not getting sucked too high.
It's going to be long ball after long ball. And it would appear that number 22, Jared Heck, came out due to that hamstring probably, but it's going to be...
Striking over the top for Kirsch. Kirsch, nice touchdown. Kirsch working on Newton. Looks for Highfield, but Alanis is there. Not sure Highfield knew that Alanis was behind him. Nice turn from Swollen. Swollen shoots. It's wide.
But
that's the intent. That's the quickness.
Yes, you beat me to it. You beat me to it. But what I was saying before all the action started to happen is that the back line of Schrage, Wagner now, and Kent is going to probably be used to heading the ball a lot because it's going to be even more direct being down that guy. So underneath, Swollen, Shaw, Kirsch, they have to do a job of picking up those second balls.
Long ball. Golger long just like you thought. Shaw wins it. Wagner looking long for Bechtel.
Great ball.
That was a great ball. Bechtel gets in front of Dora. Dora, nice defense. That was some good speed. Dora tries to kick it out of the stadium, but got to kick it a little harder than that. But not so hard it falls on I-94.
That fence just dikembeyed him. Wagged his finger at him.
No.
Yeah. So here, if you look at how we're setting up, you see Olsen, Shaw, Swollen, and Schrage back. I say you send two more in, and you don't need, which is kind of passively what's happening here. But I don't think you need everyone back. I think you need to just throw the bodies in, make something happen here on this corner kick.
Kirsch over the ball, delivers to Swollen. Swollen shot blocked.
That probably didn't feel very good.
No, he hit that pretty hard.
Oh,
Kip Nusu just cuffed around the head by Newton. Newton's able to get that away. That was a surprise to me, but here we've got Lane on the attack. Lane on Shaw. His pass too far
not
for Newton.
The foul. Come on.
Wow, there's a foul.
That's a bailout.
I mean, Kip Nusu definitely cuffed around the head on that one. If you're a referee, I know you don't want to give a penalty for that, but I mean, huge impact on the play, and you just got to be careful about.
You're not going to get it, but it still happened.
So dangerous position here as Felix Kogler stands over the ball for Dutch Lions.
There is no way he's trying to do anything but put this in the goal. There's no pass. There's no chip. There's nothing. It's going to be a laser.
Kogler right into the wall. And he's back to Dora. Kent is there. Swallen can't quite get it away, but big Curtis Wagner. Only as far as Newton.
It's a good touch by Newton. Look at Kurt. Causing problems.
Gets past Bechtel, falls to Lane. Lane blasts it.
That's one of those ones where if that's your teammate, you're like, that was a 0-degree angle.
May have been negative.
What were you thinking you were going to accomplish there?
Of course, if it's you look up and you see the goal. You don't care what angle it is.
Yeah, no, you're trying to get on the stat sheet.
The Crows just ahead by a goal. Wagner finds Kip Nusu. Kip Nusu's flick on to Highfield. Highfield, nice ball to Olsen. Olsen in.
Touch and hit.
He cuts it back. Kirsch, goal!
Oh, Jackson Kirsch, player to watch.
That is his 4th goal in 3 games, and Minneapolis City up 2-0 on the Dutch Lions. Smart play from Morgan Olsen there here in the 55th minute to cut that back, and Kirsch made no mistake. Sturl got a hand on the ball, but that was hit too hard for him. Nice goal for the Crows.
It all started with that touch from Joe Highfield.
What a smart cutback.
I mean, Kirsch didn't necessarily pick out a corner there. We're not going to split hairs, but he hit it hard enough. To go through the goalkeeper's arm.
Sometimes you don't have to.
There we go. Pretty sweet Windows 98 screen there we had for a second.
I'm into it. I was just waiting for Clippy to do a goal celebration.
we don't have the dollars to spend with Microsoft.
Clippy goal celebration.
Yep. Great work by Highfield as the Crows are on attack again.
Highfield finds Olsen. Olsen's in.
Oh.
Nice work, you have to say, from Spitznagel there. Just a little bit of a push, pushed Olsen off, and that ball ran into Sturl. Nice ball from Highfield there.
That's the one where you want Morgan to be selfish and to take it first time.
Swallen foul on Frimpong. Everyone kind of knew that was what it was.
Just
kind of nice when you don't act surprised after every foul that's obvious.
This guy's taking the ball like 20 yards further.
The great thing about it being a line for football is you know exactly how many yards.
Yep. Can't cheat. Don't be a cheater.
Ball goes long to Kostakis. Kostakis getting behind Olsen. Falls to Lane, and then Kostakis again. Easy clear from Kent. It's a nice touch from Spitznagel. Tragedy, you know, sometimes the defenders don't get the credit that the offensive players do, but he hasn't put a foot wrong in any of these games.
He's been solid. Nice work by Swallen.
Whoa,
oh, that's
big kick from Santos on Kirsch. Whew.
It's got to be a talking to by the referee at some point.
Bechtel picks that one up. He's driving in.
Bechtel with a shot.
Shot! Saved by Sturl, falls to Highfield.
He's
offside.
At least 6 yards offside. See, here's where I want the referee to go talk to the player that kicked out at someone literally right in front of him. And that's not me being a homer here. That's just like you have to have that conversation.
Well, especially in a game like this, you got a team down a man, down 2 goals. If you don't intercede early, it turns into a game that nobody wants.
Yep.
They're looking long for Lane.
And you know what that conversation would be, Dan, between the referee and the player?
Tell me, John.
Guy, look your best with the only barber you should trust in Minneapolis. Twin Cities Barber Co., locally owned and operated in the heart of South Minneapolis, offers high-quality services that'll have you feeling your best. Treat yourself to traditional barbershop with a modern style and make an appointment today at tcbarberco.com. Also, don't kick that guy again.
That sounds just like what the referee would say. That's a nice ball forward for Kogler, but Sessler's there. Smart goalkeeping.
Now we go quick. Let's go quick.
You know, there's been a lot more urgency and decisiveness in City's play this half. And even when the things haven't come off, they've really put a lot of pressure.
Nice run by Kirsch.
Ball from Olsen to Kirsch. Kirsch, look at that, getting past Newton. Love that. You get some space from Highfield's run. Goes on his left, falls to Bechtel.
Bechtel wants that one back.
Goes to Sturl, but much better. You're seeing some space for Jackson Kirsch. I love that run from Highfield. He takes a defender with him. He gives Kirsch a minute to get that ball under control. That's a sort of like early decisiveness, even if you're not getting the ball, that you just love to see. Lane with some party tricks. He goes over the top to Santos. Santos working on Wagner. It's a 2-on-1. Santos shoots wide.
Santos made the absolute wrong decision there.
If you're Alanis, you're a little bit upset.
100%, man. He's wide open. Play him the ball.
I mean, it's a little bit ironic, don't you think?
Now they're arguing on the field.
A little too ironic that Alanis didn't get the ball.
Just because your guy is out now doesn't mean you can drop things like that, Dan.
I'm kind of sad we don't have the Canadian teams this year. I don't get to use my Canadian references as much.
Oh.
Swallow does well with a tough ball. Falls to Bechtel. Kipnusu wide on Dora. Little flick over. Not fun to do anything with.
Shaw, have one. Oh,
Shaw, great ball at Kipnusu. Love that
great idea.
Kipnusu reading it. Can't quite get it.
First instinct for me, though, is Ian Shaw have a rip.
I will say the Shaw Swollen, that kind of double pivot there, it's just been
showing some really good stuff right now. Led by Nick Cat.
Swollen in front of Frimpong. He's taken down. That was tough. Referee, you love the play on, but for advantage.
Yep.
But Frimpong's definitely going to get a talking to. Good referee.
No yellow card?
Whew, that surprises me that he just got a cutoff.
I was just going to say it was good refereeing, and that's not great right there. Like, that was a clear yellow card.
Oh, I mean, studs up right into the guy's shin. Olsen looking for his college teammate Highfield, cut out by Newton.
Like, what else do you need to see there?
For me, nothing. I mean, there was intent. The ball was nowhere to be seen.
It also stopped an attack.
Swollen stops Lane. Nice work from Swollen. Highfield. Oh, there's big Curtis Wagner fires.
You don't have to tell Kurt to shoot twice. He gets up that high.
Great shot. Blocked away, though, and that is a Minneapolis City corner.
You can see a little bit. There was a little bit more vinegar in that challenge for Swollen on Frimpong.
100%. But that's that sharpness, and that's that speed of play. And, that happens offensively and defensively. And if you've got to balance your old checkbook there, nothing wrong with that. Good delivery. Shoving the back on Kipnusu. Referee lets that go, and that's out for the goal kick.
63rd minute, Minneapolis City 2, Chicago City Dutch Lions 0. Dan, I think clearly a tale of two halves here. Like, take the red card out of it. I think the intent of Minneapolis City, we talked about the, just get a little bit more on the front foot. It's happened since halftime, and I think it's all come through the substitutes that have come on for Coach Oliver.
I think you're right. There's nothing wrong with an early patience, but when you clearly have to start to make some things happen, you love a little bit of this sharpness and speed of decision making. Santos on the ball. Does a nice job to get out of some pressure.
I've been really impressed with number 7, Jake Lane, for the Dutch Lions. Every time he gets on the ball, it's super clean. Like, he's making really, really good runs. Here we are right here. He's offside, right as I say really good runs. But outside of that one, really clean on the ball. He's really good in tight spaces. I've been really impressed.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. And early in the game when he had my favorite player, Scandariato, working with him, ball comes into Kirsch. What a goal! City!
Player to watch. And then he just does a little stutter step and a layup right by the corner flag.
Beautiful touch. Sterl's stuck in no man's land, and that's 3-0 Minneapolis City here in the 64th minute as Jackson Kirsch scores his second of the day. And, John, that's his 5th in 3 games.
Well, there's a reason why he was put on the players to watch list by the USL2 this week.
Yeah, he was last week's top performer. You can see why he gets behind Frimpong. One touch. Easy as you like.
Nothing else to add. Really great layup there. Looks like some substitutes are coming on for Coach Oliver. We'll get that information for you. But here is where we talked about it, Dan. We're now in that scenario where it's 3-0. Do you keep the ball or do you put the pedal down? You don't want to embarrass a team by constantly going for goal-scoring opportunities, but this division's razor thin.
It is razor thin, and you know what? You have to say that the Dutch Lions have done a nice job through players like Lane, who you mentioned right before, and this man on the ball, Santos, of finding those opportunities on the counterattack. I say you got to go for it. This game is not necessarily over yet.
Meaty challenges flying in here. Now here's the decision for Coach Oliver. Do you let the guy on the hat trick stay in, or do you rest him?
Sometimes I'm glad I'm not the coach. Frimpong over the top for Kogler, but he's offside. Discipline line there from the back three. John, I'm glad to see Curtis Wagner back. You know, one of the things that's really great about City is the continuity of their players. This is Curtis Wagner's 3rd season. Nick Kent came up through the futures. This is what, his 5th or 6th season?
Yep.
Last year's back line was Nick Kent, his older brother Max, his City legend, and Curtis Wagner.
Oh my God. I'll say something here in a second. Here he is. Big Kurt. Gonna hit another one?
Look over to Kirsch. Kirsch drives it into the ground. Sterl can handle. Great technique.
What I was waiting on saying is, how at the size of Preston Kipnusu do you stop speeds that fast and change directions? Like, that's usually like the footwork he just had there on that play where he put the cross in.
Nice win from Swallen. Swallen finds Kipnusu with that tackle. Kipnusu shot!
Like, incredibly impressive to stop that that big of a body, to be able to cut back and even play that ball in is super impressive.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, physically you got the full package, and then you also added on to that technique and that awareness, like spatially, of where to be. His movement has just been exceptional. I mean, what a pickup.
Yeah. He just absolutely shoots a laser.
Sessler finds Kent. And for Kipnusu, the flick on. Highfield flicks on again. Can Kirsch get there? Kirsch working on Newton.
The double flick. Love it. Great work.
Highfield doing a nice job, and then Swallen wins it. Kipnusu, oh, that was close for Kirsch.
He's trying to load up his buddy for that hat trick.
Hard to blame him. Here we are in the 68th minute. Minneapolis City 3-0 up over the Dutch Lions. Dutch Lions down a man as well. Crows head to Chicago. Way to clear that one, Joe. Crows head to Chicago to play Sueño FC on Friday of next week, and then they're home on Saturday in the Minnesota Super Cup against Minnesota United MLS next. So that's going to be really thinking about roster management if you're Coach Oliver and Flinton.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we do that, fans, be sure to make your plans this season for post-game parties at the Corner Bar in Seven Corners. I'll be there tonight. Dan will be there tonight. Nate will be there tonight. Everyone will be there tonight. Friends of the Murder get deals on shells, pints, and pitchers. And don't forget to try the almost world-famous Joey Wings. Thank you, Corner Bar.
So we've got some substitutions coming on for Minneapolis City, and we've seen Jackson Kirsch, Joe Highfield. They've both come off. In their place, we've got.
We'll wait for word from the tower here. Then you don't have to guess, Dan.
Well, I mean, I see Ms. Harris came on for Joe Highfield, so what a great young player. He plays college soccer here at Augsburg University. Did a great job at the end of last season coming in for the Crows from the Futures. Scored a number of goals, including the winner against Thunder Bay, who were division
What work by
Jake Swallen is good at soccer, everybody. The Curtis finds Ondiaki Mena.
All right, so substitutions were number 19, Mizel Harris came in for number 18, Shea Bechtel. Number 11, Bernardo Sebi Rule came on for number 10, Jackson Kirsch. And number 25, Ondieki Mena came on for number 14, Morgan Olson. And then there were some positional changes that you guys don't need to worry about. You just got to watch the game.
And the only thing I'd say is Ms. Harris came on for Joe Highfield. Shea Bechtel went up to take Highfield's spot in the forward line next to Preston Kipnusu. Ms. Harris is out wide where Bechtel was as that winger, wing back.
Big Kurt's I'm just going to take it up the field.
Glad to see him back.
Good interchange by City there.
And the Crows doing a great job of being patient with the ball, but also playing with intent. And it can't quite get the ball back from Harris. And that ball is given away. Dutch Lions driving over Wagner. And there's that man, Jake Lane. He's been everywhere today, but he can't get past Curtis Wagner.
Big Curtis Wagner.
Santos on the ball. Nice and easy from Kent.
Smart by Kirsch, or by Shaw. Kirsch. Talk about a match for being selected as man of the match or player to watch.
Absolutely.
CB Rule burns his guy.
Nice cross comes in. Kipnusu almost able to convert that. Nice defending though. Schrager gets in front of Kogler. He had to battle his way past that.
Let's load up Big Kurt again.
John Jake Swallen has been exceptional this half. Falls to Kipnusu. Kipnusu shot
man.
high. He's going to want that one back.
Yes, looks like we got a substitution for the Dutch Lions.
Let's hope it's a last name that's fun to say, John. Might not be.
Maybe.
And walking off is Jake Lane. He's been exceptional. He got the yellow card in the 38th minute.
Jake Lane's just getting water. He's
just getting water. There we go. I take that back. It's Sotirios Kostakis. I jumped the gun, and I apologize.
Yeah. Say sorry to the man.
Jake Lane's had a great game.
He has.
And coming on for Dutch Lions is number 12, Jake Carroll.
No offense.
Carroll.
No offense, Jake. It's not as fun to say.
Yeah, you gotta maybe change your last name.
What a great pass by Swallen.
Great ball. Miss Harris shot!
Oh.
Wide. Great ball from Swallen. Every time he's been on the ball today, he looks like he's going to make something happen. Swallen, of course, the son of Minnesota Thunder goalkeeper and legend John Swallen.
Here, I saw him wearing a pink polo.
Heck yeah. You got to say, Jake has just done a great job carving out his own type of place in the soccer world. Including that nutmeg. That's $1 fine there, Jake Lane. You got Swallen, bro.
Look at Big Kurt just eating up the turf here. Continue your run, man.
Big Kurt's got a nosebleed up that high. Oh, and a nice touch from Bechtel. Kip News, who couldn't quite make the turn that quick. Credit to the Dutch Lions defense. And we've got a Minneapolis City substitution.
That's number 21. Whoop. Mitchell Munzing coming in for number 8, Ian Shaw.
And that's another Augie who's going to be coming on to play at his home stadium.
Big fan of Mitchell Munzing.
What a great game from Shaw, though.
I think this has been his best so far this season.
I'd agree. A lot of promise, too, with that Shaw Swallen little double pivot. But I'm with you. Munzing, he's going to be fun to watch.
He brings an energy and an attacking mindset every time he touches the ball.
There's that new man, Carroll. He's working on Tregi. Great defense from Tregi.
Here's my guy. Look at that.
There's your guy. That was lovely.
That was an EAFC touch. Was that R1?
And we're back to Spitznagel.
That was an R1 plus L1 plus left stick, I think.
Good turn from Frimpong. Harris stays with him.
Frimpong has been quiet this half. I think he's been deployed more defensively.
And you'd expect some adjustments with Dutch Lions being a man down.
Well, and I assume they're limited in their personnel, being that they brought 4 substitutes. So, kind of got next man up, anywhere will do kind of thing.
But you're right, Frimpong's influence has been limited. He wrestles with Harris there. That's a foul. There's that man Munzing, his first time on the ball. Oh, and he's taken down. Frimpong wins the ball. Referee points to it.
Yeah, I think.
What a tackle.
I'm pretty sure he won that ball.
I'd have to agree.
Nice ball by
Nice
Swallen.
ball from Swallen. Finds a Sibe Rule. Sibe Rule goes across the goal.
Oh, it's
Kip Newsu can't quite get to it.
oh.
John, I think you're right from the referee there. He made the right call. What a tackle. You couldn't have gotten anything but that exact tackle from Frimpong and come away from that.
I mean, he gets that wrong. We got another decision to make. I don't know if that was a shot or a cross for the CB rule, but it was dangerous none the least.
Collier didn't love that from
He just chucks the ball at Curtis.
Wagner.
Referees right there. Both 3 referees are right there.
Kogler's been getting into it with
Pretty much
players
everybody.
since the very
Yeah.
beginning.
You don't mess with Big Kurt in his house.
No, absolutely not. Munzing finds Bechtel. Nice run from Schrage.
Munzing's on.
Oh, looks for him.
Yeah.
Just a little bit overhit. You know, when you're used to hitting to the 6'4" forwards,
Yeah, the 5'9" midfielder is
you
a
got to
little hard to find.
recalibrate.
He's the danger man for Dutch Lions.
Lane's cross.
Dude, he's good, man.
Cleared away by Wagner.
Good work by Bechtel.
Bechtel shoved over by Dora.
If I'm the referee, I'm having a little bit of a conversation that we're about closing in on 10 minutes left. Let's just not be stupid
Yeah,
for both sides.
exactly. You know, this is the type of game that you just don't want to get away from yet. Mina on the ball. Mina working on Elanis. Shot!
Oh, what a rip.
What a rip. Always rising. But not bad at all. One is a McAllister College teammate of Nick Kent. And it's fun to see the different kind of groups you have. They're playing college soccer together. they play youth
Augsburg
soccer together.
guys, clearly some Drake guys.
Nice work from Newton on Kipnusu. He's a difficult man to corral, that's for sure.
Yes, he is. Good work by Swallen. Super, super impressed with Jake Swallen in the second half. Nice ball by Curtis. Another red.
Wagner taken
another red.
down by Kogler, and that is a red card.
what is-
Kogler clearly trying to get him back for what he thought was a push there.
Can we get a replay on that? I didn't even see what happened.
Why do that? That's just off the ball. It's just too obvious. Too obvious, and that's never going to go. Fourth official saying you can't do that.
Oh, here we go. Oh, whoop, almost over there.
Well, we were for those at home, Wagner plays the ball. Kohler comes in. He comes in high. He comes in after the ball. There's no intent to play the ball. He's still angry about what happened on the touchline there. Why do that?
Once again, like I'm rooting for one team here, but that is just so stupid. Like now you're
Now you're
out
suspended.
for now you're suspended for a game. Like
This game's already lost.
exactly. Like like you can see it. You can see him. He's clearly like I made a mistake there, but like it's just so dumb. Like
Oh, Munzing looking for Bechtel, almost finds him.
you're putting your teammates just in a
Nice shot from Harris.
Goal, Bechtel.
Goal, Bechtel.
you're putting your teammates at a disadvantage for your next match.
Absolutely.
Goal in the 81st minute. Shea Bechtel on the score sheet for the first time this season.
And you got to say that if you're the Dutch Lions, that may have been a little bit easier to defend if you had another guy.
Two more guys.
But nice work. To be fair, that whole thing was decently well worked, but especially if you look here at Harris. Nice, decisive, takes the shot. Sturl does what he can, but all too easy for Bechtel is right there. As a goalkeeper, if I was the goalkeeping coach, you either grab that or you got to get that out of the danger zone. But Sturl's had a lot to do today.
Dan, we're one more away from Taco Bell.
Oh, man, I'm ready for a chalupa, maybe a Doritos Locos Taco.
Cheesy Gordita Crunch.
For those who don't know, every time Minneapolis City scores 5 goals,
I go to Taco Bell.
the John Bisworm goes to Taco Bell.
And it's the only time I go to Taco Bell.
In a lot of ways, you wish we played Duluth in the league more. You have a lot more of that kind of Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
I never get a drink, though. I never get the Baja Blast. I go with the well, it used to be a $5 box. Now there's a $5, a $7, and an $8 box.
Inflation will kill you.
So, like, I kind of don't know what
Oh,
to,
a CB rule.
what to get
Unfortunate
anymore.
touch there. That's wide
All I know is
to Carroll.
my go-to as the Dutch Lions attack here. My go-to is the cheesy gordita crunch.
Swollen. You know, I
The
want to hear your order.
the cheesy gordita crunch, Doritos Locos Taco, original Doritos, not Cool Ranch,
Yeah. Okay.
and a burrito supreme.
Santos comes across.
That's the $5.
Bagtail.
It's a $5 box. So
As if to emphasize that is the correct Taco Bell order, John.
it's my correct Taco Bell order, Dan. You know, you do you, but that's me, and I'm gonna get it every time. It's very diverse. It offers a lot of things.
It does. A lot of different textures, flavors.
Yeah.
You're just missing the drink.
It's literally the exact same stuff in a different package. All right, enough Taco Bell. Minneapolis City with a deep throw here. We have seen that Mena does have that long throw from the RKC game.
Got a Dutch line tying his shoe. That's Jake Lane. If he needs help,
That's my guy.
you know, John, you as a coach of U9, you maybe will help him. Munzing tries to just flick it up, asking for a handball. Good win in front of Carroll.
There was one time, Dan, in coaching U9 soccer, in one Sunday, I tied 56 shoes. Counted.
Presumably you had to tie the same shoe more than once. Oh, nice move from Kipnusu. The referee does not give that. That's a
Come on, man. That's Taco Bell right there.
that's a courtesy call if I've ever seen one.
I wonder if we can get a replay on that one.
Look at this. Ball goes to Kipnusu. He makes the turn.
There's a lot of leg in there.
Just takes down his back foot. If you're the referee, though, you're looking at your 85th minute. Team's up 4-0. They're
still have
down
to-
2 men. You
still
got
have
to make the calls.
You still have to make the calls, yeah. But I understand why it was let go. But the next one definitely has to happen.
It has to. You know, games like this happen to all of us. I got to say, you look at a player like Jake Lane, still going.
Yeah, he's been
You love that
fantastic.
attitude.
Fantastic.
What a player. I'll tell you, too, Charles Newton, center back, he's had to do a lot of work today. I thought he's been excellent overall. Man, nice move. He gets through. Frimpong is there.
But Munzing, that
Munzing.
energy.
Swollen finds him again. Munzing looks for Mena. Mena goes across. He's offside. Just couldn't get back on time.
Good finish by Preston, though.
Trying to even right about Mitch Munzing. He's done a nice job filling in.
He's been my guy since I coached him with Minneapolis City Winter Futures when he first started as a freshman at Augsburg. Just super impressed with his soccer IQ, his energy. Like, from a central midfield perspective, he's consistently always trying to look for that forward line-breaking pass, but also has the whereabouts to not always make it just because he sees it, but finding the right pass if it ultimately is on.
Well, and you can see that today. He's done a really nice job of kind of picking when to play the ball, when to hold the ball. We got a Dutch Lions sub here. So coming off is number 7, Jake Lane. He's had a great game.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunate when you've got a game like this, it kind of gets away from the rest of your team, but it was, you know, really through no lack of energy of his, and it looks like we've got coming on for him number 14, Ethan Cortez, which gives me another name to say. Nice win from Harris on Frimpong. Looking for Bechtel. Bechtel's going to use his pace. Bechtel cuts back to Sibe. It's Kipnusu.
Oh,
Kipnusu's
corner.
wide.
They just want me to count my calories, apparently.
You know, and a little bit rushed there from Kipnusu, who had more time than perhaps he thought he did, and certainly than he did earlier this game. Nice run from Asibe.
You have to feel for a player like Lane. Like, did everything he could. Didn't have a ton of help because he was constantly without an option.
Nice delivery from Swollen.
Being down a guy.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have the partners.
It looked like I said Kipnusu with that wide, but that was a nice save from Sturl. short from Mina to Swollen. Back to Mina. Mina gets past Santos. Can't get it past the first man. It's going to fall to Harris. And then Bechtel.
3 guys had a bite at that one. Entering the 88th minute, Minneapolis City 4, Chicago City Dutch Lions 0. We'll talk about it afterwards, Dan, but it has clearly been turning the page from one half to the other for Minneapolis City.
You know, that urgency, that kind of quickness in terms of decisions. Referee calls for foul on Traggy. Referees do a tough job, and that's a Dutch Lions free kick. But you're right. All of a sudden, a totally different, just an attitude, just a posture towards the game.
Well, and it was
Nice
just
turn from Santos.
nice work by Swollen.
Swallow has just done every single thing right today.
It's a wonder why he played pro soccer.
Kipnusu looking for Bechtel. What a ball.
I don't think Bechtel felt that was going to get through.
It went past 3 Dutch Lions defenders.
But still, early goings, like, Bechtel has to learn that that's the type of thing that Kipnusu wants to do.
And can do.
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot of players can pull that off.
What a dangerous ball.
Started looking for Cortez.
The referee has indicated from the field side 3 minutes of stoppage. I think that's about an adequate number.
I think you're right. You know, this is one of those where you've had 3 goals and a sending off this half, but you don't need to belabor this one. Mitch Munzing, he drives forward. Ooh, the referee calls that the other way. I'm not sure that Dora did much but fall down on that one.
He did the veteran move where you just stop and let the guy run through you.
Yeah, that's all good. I watched the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. Those little SGA stuff. Make the contact and then fall over.
I mean, I'm not a good move by Harris.
Oh, Harris, unfortunate as he runs into mine on that one.
A lot of weirdness going on here.
Big Kurt drives past 3 now. Finds Kipnusu. Nice work from Wagner.
Offside.
Bechtel may have been. Sometimes I'm not entirely sure. That may have been a citizen's flag, John. They've been in good voice tonight once they were able to beat the I-94 construction traffic. I got to be honest. It took me 11 minutes to go 1 mile on the freeway today, so hard to blame them. Kind of doing work, but he's driven out of bounds there. So next up for City, they've got Sueño. Sueño have a win. They beat St. Croix 2-1, and they've got a loss. They struggled last year in a division that had River Light and
The
had
Menace.
Dutch Lions. Yeah, but they also had the Menace and they had Peoria City. So you had the national champion and a team that the national champion beat in the regional final. So what a division. Stragi finds Kipnusu. Harris, right at the goalkeeper. Still didn't know much about it, but he was in the right place. Sometimes that's all you can do if you're the goalie. We're in the dying numbers of this game. Kipnusu finds the C-base. C-base cross. Harris, close.
Kurt's going to hit one.
Big Kurt.
Oh, hit one.
Cross.
Hit one.
Decent. Bechtel's there.
I mean, it's a great ball. It's a great ball, but hit one.
If you've got Kipnusu or Highfield there, maybe it's a.
I mean, Kipnusu was back post. Like,
Look, I love Shade Bechtel.
He was
What a
offside.
player.
He was offside. Kipnusu was. That is. to be the last minute of stoppage here. See, now Dan is where you can go into kill out mode. No need to go forward. There's zero pressure.
Sure he does anyway.
He did not listen to anything I said.
But it falls to Harris. Oh, Harris looking for Mena. The thing is, I don't mind it. And Munzing finds Mena. Mena's in the box. Alettis tracking. Drags his shot wide. That's that energy you talked about. The two Augies are really bringing.
Yeah. Come on, change the game. That's your job.
They've both done great. And nice smart thinking from Munzing.
Just
Take your head up, look around,
just make
the pass.
And that is it, folks. Minneapolis City 4, Chicago City Dutch Lions 0. I am John Bisworm. That is the Dan Hudeman. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with some post-game thoughts, and then we'll get ready to go to the corner bar. Welcome back, soccer fans. Once again, I'm John Bisworm. That is the Dan Hudeman. 4 goals to the Crows, 0 for the Dutch Lions. Dan, before we unpack all the statistics and all of that stuff, it clearly was a situation where Coach Oliver probably went into the locker room at halftime and told them to all out attack.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes you score that early goal, and that was one of our keys to the game, and that can almost work against you. And in a lot of ways, it felt like it did for City. You got a little bit complacent, a little bit too patient with the ball. You come out of that locker room at halftime, it was a different game, a different type of energy, a different type of hunger, and it showed on the scoreline. And with 27 shots to 7, you got to give credit for the Dutch Lions for keeping the score the way it was.
Well, absolutely. I think what we talked about was that sense of urgency. Like when you get the ball, like it's okay to keep it at times, but if you're not willing to try to find that forward breaking pass, it allows a team, specifically one like the Dutch Lions who are shorthanded today, it allows them the opportunity to sit back even further because they don't think you're going to make it.
Right.
And then when you make it, you create opportunity. And then they have to think about it the next time. So in the first half, I thought it was a lot of like, get the ball, back line, into the midfield, go back. Get the ball, go out wide, into the midfield, go back. And then we tried a lot of over the top, but like we said in the first half, the danger was coming through the center.
No, you're right. And I think one of the other things that different approach starts to open up is space. Started to open up space for Jackson Kirsch, 2 goals, started to open up some space for the forwards. All of a sudden, the defenders have to think about different things. You have space for other players. They could duck under, they could swing out wide. It was a different game in that second half, John.
100%. So if we're talking about statistics, the game really popped off in the 4th minute with a goal by number 9, Preston Kipnusu, in the 4th minute. Then we had a whole bunch of action, I guess you could say. In the 38th minute, Jake Lane, yellow card. Jake Lane, impressive today. We'll talk about him in a second. Then you had the red card for your guy last time.
Scandariato.
Dominic Scandariato. I got in on it a little bit. In the 44th minute, that I think was the ultimate game changer. And then second half starts, substitutions come on. You see players like Shea Bechtel come on. You see players like Jake Swellen come on. Completely change the complexity of the attack, in my opinion. And in the 55th minute, player to watch, Jackson Kirsch, starts getting his day going. Scores a goal in the 55th minute and the 65th minute to get his second brace of the season. And then ultimately the goal scoring stopped for Minneapolis City in the 81st minute for number 17, Shea Bechtel. So, Dan, I think, like, if you're the coaching staff, like, you're starting to see what combinations work with your players now that they're all in.
No, absolutely. And I'd love to pause for a minute and just give a little bit of extra credit for Preston Kipnusu.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's had 2 goals in 3 games. That's good on its own. He's got also 2 guys sent off in 2 games trying to keep up with him. He's won 2 penalties. Could have been more today. 1 free kicks. He's been a hinge on the attack. You know, when you talk about those little groups working together, obviously he and Jackson Kirsch, his Drake teammate, working well together. But he really, if I can get a little Big Lebowski on you, John, he knits the whole team together. He brings the whole team together. And we haven't had a player like that for a little while.
Or a Jackson Kirsch.
That's absolutely true. What a player.
Well, once again, I am John Bisworm. That is Dan Hudeman. 4 goals. That means I don't get Taco Bell tonight, but that's fine. Minneapolis City 4, Chicago City Dutch Lions 0. We are up next on Friday the 6th down in Chicago versus Sueño.
Yep, and then Saturday we are at home in the Minnesota Super Cup against Minnesota United MLS next.
Once again, thank you for joining us. Quick shout out to Drew, the rest of the production staff. Incredible job. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. 2 founders, 1 booth.